Good morning, all of you. Uh, Today's class we should discuss about fuzzy logic. What is a fuzzy logic and how will fuzzy logic be existing? How will be the fuzzy logic be explained in order to understand? And what is a classic set theory and what is cardinality theory, right? So before going to the concept name is fuzzy sets and fuzzy logic. Okay. So before going to fuzzy sets, we shall first know what is a fuzzy logic. So fuzzy logic means the word fuzzy refers to things which are not clear and are vague, right? So here we are having two concepts. First one is fuzzy sets and fuzzy logic, right? So in first topic we are going to discuss about fuzzy logic. Fuzzy logic. So in this fuzzy logic concept, the word fuzzy. So fuzzy in the sense things which are not clear and are vague. అంటే ఏవైనా థింగ్స్ కనుక క్లియర్గా లేకపోతే that are called as fuzzy, right? Any event, process or function that is changing continuously cannot always be defined as either true or false. ఏదైనా ఒక సిచ్యువేషన్ కనుక if it is going to be changed continuously, we cannot define it as true or false. Suppose let us assume if it is raining today, if it is raining now, ఇప్పుడు వాన పడుతుంటే కనుక ట్రూ అంటాం, మళ్ళీ కొంచెంసేపు అయిన తర్వాత వాన ఆగిపోయింది అనుకోండి, then we call it as false, right? So here the process is been changing. Sometimes it may be raining, sometimes it may not be raining here, right? So here the process is been changing. So we cannot conclude. So the answer true or false will be changed according to the situation, right? So here, any event or process or function that is changing continuously cannot always be defined as either true or false, which means that we need to define such activities in a fuzzy manner. Alanti situations ni, if we want to define those activities will be defined in a fuzzy manner, right? So clear. Hope all of you understood what is the meaning of fuzzy. Fuzzy in the sense which are not clear, the things which are not clear. Suppose either an event can process can if any function, if it is being changed continuously, it cannot be defined either true or false. Like we discussed with the example called, suppose let us assume if it is raining now, right? We can say true. Afterwards, again, if you raise the same question, is it raising now? It will be changing false. And after some time, again it may rain, and again if you pose this question, it will be giving us true. That means here the process, the event of occurring of the rain is being changing. ఒకసారి ట్రూ అవుతుంది, ఒకసారి ఫాల్స్ అవుతుంది. సో ఇలాంటివి ఏదైనా డిఫైన్ చేసుకోవాలనుకుంటే those need to be done in a fuzzy manner, right? So what is fuzzy logic now? So this first paragraph represents the meaning of fuzzy, and now we are going to discuss about what is a fuzzy logic. So fuzzy logic resembles the human decision making methodology. So in fuzzy logic, it resembles the human decision making methodology. It deals with vague and imprecise information. So vague and imprecise information in the sense it deals with the information which is not clear. ఇక్కడ చూడండి, it deals with the vague and imprecise information. So fuzzy logic deals with the information that is not clear. This is gross oversimplification of real world problems and based on degrees of truth rather than usual true or false or 1 or 0 like Boolean logic. So here here based on the degrees of the truth rather than true or false or 1 or 0 like Boolean logic. So in order to define the things or the information which is not clear, the concept of fuzzy logic helps the concept of fuzzy logic helps to deal them. అంటే ఏదైనా things కనుక if they are unclear, they are not clear, so then we can define them by using the fuzzy logic. So fuzzy logic resembles the human decision making methodology. So what we are going to do is, in the real world problems, it is going to be based on the degrees of the truth. Degrees of truth మీద బేస్ అవుతుంది కానీ like true or not, like true or false or 1 or 0 అలా కాకుండా based on the degrees of the truth. So take a look at the following diagram. It shows that in the fuzzy systems, the values are indicated by a number in the range of 0 to 1. 0 to 1. Here, 1.0 represents absolute truth and 0.0 represents absolute falseness. The number which indicates the value in fuzzy system is called the truth value. Okay, so 1.0 represents always truth and 0.0 represents always absolute falseness. And the 1.0 and true and control 0.0 in the sense it represents the falseness. The number which indicates the value in fuzzy systems is called the truth value. So fuzzy systems lo ఏదైతే value represent అయిందో that particular value is called as the truth value. So if you look into the example, is Ram honest? Is Ram honest? And a question mark. So normally, if we consider in the Boolean logic, normally if we consider in the Boolean logic, then we may get yes or no. Is Ram honest అనే దానికి Boolean logic లో కన్సిడర్ చేసుకుంటే, see here there is no precise information, there is no clear information. Is Ram honest అనే క్వశ్చన్ ఉంది కానీ there is no supportive evidence available, right? So in Boolean logic what it happens is, if it is true it comes out as true, or if it is false it comes out as false. See here, see here, true అయితే ట్రూ వస్తుంది, ఫాల్స్ అయితే ఇట్ బికమ్స్ ఫాల్స్. ఇఫ్ ట్రూ ఎస్ అయితే ఎస్, ఇఫ్ నాట్ నో అయితే నో, వన్ అయితే వన్, జీరో అయితే జీరో. దట్ మీన్స్ ఇన్ బూలియన్ లాజిక్ దెర్ ఆర్ ఓన్లీ టూ ఆప్షన్స్ available for any given question, for any given question. But in fuzzy logic, because it resembles the human decision making methodology, here what is going to happen is the same question is being asked. So Boolean logic lo aithe it represents either yes or no. So for the same question like is Ram honest, in fuzzy logic what is happening is here extremely honest, here extremely dishonest. So extremely honest in the sense we can consider as 1.0, right? So true condition అయితే 1.0 అన్నాం, 0.0 అయితే 0.0 in the sense absolute falseness, right? So in between these two we are categorizing two more categories. Very honest is 0.85, sometimes honest is 0.35, sometimes honest is 0.35. So in Boolean logic లో ఏంటి మనకు ఓన్లీ టూ ఛాన్సెస్, అయితే yes లేకపోతే no, if not true or false, let the 1 or 0. But when it comes to fuzzy logic, we are categorizing the data, because the categorization will be done because the fuzzy logic is going to resemble the human decision making methodology, right? So here it is been categorized, అంటే extremely honest లేదా extremely dishonest or very honest. So it is being categorized here, why? Because in fuzzy logic it is been resembled by using the human decision making methodology. So if answer extremely honest, it comes out as 1.0. Very honest in the sense it comes out as 0.85. Sometimes honest, it comes out as 0.35. Suppose if the question is Ram honest, if it is extremely dishonest, that means it comes to absolute falseness, which is nothing but 0.0. So in other words, we can say that fuzzy logic is not logic that is fuzzy. See, here actually what we told is fuzzy in the sense unclear information, right? That means if the information or the thing is not clear or not precise, then it is called as a fuzzy, right? So fuzzy logic is not the logic that is fuzzy, but logic that is used to describe is fuzziness. Clear? మనం ఏదైతే లాజిక్ యూజ్ చేస్తున్నామో, దట్ మీన్స్ ద లాజిక్ విచ్ ఈజ్ యూజ్డ్ టు డిస్క్రైబ్, ఆ లాజిక్ ని మనం డిస్క్రైబ్ చేయడానికి ఏ లాజిక్ అయితే యూజ్ చేస్తున్నామో దట్ విల్ బి ఫజీనెస్. ఫజీనెస్ మీన్స్ అగైన్ అన్క్లియర్, అంటే మనం డిస్క్రైబ్ చేసే లాజిక్, మనం డిస్క్రైబ్ చేసుకోవడానికి ఏదో ఒక లాజిక్ యూజ్ చేస్తాం కదా, సో ఆ లాజిక్ ఫజీనెస్ అంటే ఇక్కడ. దేర్ కెన్ బి న్యూమరస్ అదర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ లైక్ with this the help we can understand the concept of fuzzy logic. So fuzzy logic was introduced in the 1965 by Lofty A. Zadeh in the research paper Fuzzy Sets. He is considered the father of fuzzy logic. So the fuzzy logic was introduced in the year 1965 by Lofty A. Zadeh. So he has produced a research paper called as Fuzzy Sets. So fuzzy sets అనే రీసెర్చ్ పేపర్లో 1965లో లాఫ్టీ ఏ జడే అని అతను ఈ కాన్సెప్ట్ ని ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ చేశాడు, రైట్? సో ఫజీ ఇన్ ది సెన్స్ అన్క్లియర్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్. ఫజీ లాజిక్ అంటే జస్ట్ రిమెంబర్ ఇట్ రిజెంబుల్స్ ది హ్యూమన్ డెసిషన్ మేకింగ్ మెథడాలజీ. నార్మల్ బూలియన్ లాజిక్ లో అయితే ఇట్ జస్ట్ రిప్రజెంట్స్ ట్రూ ఆర్ ఫాల్స్, ఎస్ ఆర్ నో, 1 or 0 ఇలా మాత్రమే ఉంటుంది. whereas in fuzzy logic we are going to categorize into more categories. మనం more categories కింద డివైడ్ చేసుకునే ఛాన్సెస్ అనేవి ఉంటాయి. Why? Because see in here also 1.0 represents the absolute truth and 0.0 represents the absolute falseness. Okay, and next coming to the next. So fuzzy logic, classical set theory. So now, right, so in the topmost setting, what the concept which we have started today is fuzzy sets and fuzzy logics. So we know what is fuzzy and what is a fuzzy logic and who introduced the fuzzy logic. So now we are coming into the concept called as classical set theory. Classical set theory. So what is a set? We all know set is a unordered collection of different elements. Unordered collection of different elements. So elements must be different in the set as well as the elements are in unordered positions. So set లో డూప్లికేట్ ఎలిమెంట్స్ అనేవి ఉండకూడదు. ఉన్న ఎలిమెంట్స్ అన్ని కూడా unordered elements and unordered collection of different elements. So a set is an unordered collection of different elements. It can be written explicitly by listing its elements using the set bracket. If the order of the element is changed or any element of the set is repeated, it does not make any changes in this set. See here, the order of the element is changed and if the order of the element is changed or any element of the set is repeated. Why? Because set does not have any index value. అంటే ఈ ఎలిమెంట్ ఇక్కడే ఉంటది అనేది there is no guarantee in set. There is no guarantee element and there is no guarantee in the set. And one more thing is, if an element is already existed in the set, again that particular element that which is called as duplicate element will not be allowed. Will not be allowed. That is the purpose why if you are going to make any changes in the set, it cannot be occurred. అంటే ఏదైనా ఒక ఎలిమెంట్ కి ఇండెక్స్ వాల్యూ చేంజ్ చేసుకోవాలని ట్రై చేసినా, ఆల్రెడీ ఉన్న ఎలిమెంట్ ని మళ్ళా సెట్ లో రీప్లేస్ మళ్ళా సెట్ లో యాడ్ చేయాలని చూసినా, ఇట్ కెనాట్ బి హ్యాపెన్. ఇట్ కెనాట్ బి హ్యాపెన్ ఇన్ ఏ సెట్. ఎగ్జాంపుల్, a set of all positive integers. So a set of all positive integers, a set of all planets in a solar system, or a set of all the states in India, or a set of all the lowercase letters of the alphabets, right? So these all comes under the examples of classic set theory, classical set theory. So mathematical representation of a set. So the mathematical representation of a set can be done by using two forms, two ways. The first one is roster or tabular form, and the second one is set builder notation. So first one is roster or tabular form, and the second one is set builder notation. So roster or tabular form ante enti ante, here see, in this form a set is represented by listing all the elements comprising of it, right? So the elements are enclosed within square brackets and separated by commas. So look into the example. A set of vowels in English alphabet, A equal to A, E, I, O, U. See, these are all the elements. These are all the elements which are comprising of the set of vowels in English alphabets. In the same way, set of odd numbers less than 10. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So these are the elements of a set. A, E, I, O, U are the elements of a set, and 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 are the elements of a set. So these elements are placed in a square brackets and they are being separated by using commas. And they are being separated by using commas. And that means, so roster or tabular form means a set is represented by listing all the elements comprising of it. Ikkada, if you look into the second example, set of odd numbers less than 10 antunna. So B is equal to 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 anna. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 are the set of elements, comprising the odd numbers less than 10, comprising the odd numbers less than 10. That is called as the roster or tabular form. In the same way, the second one is set builder notation. So in this form, what is going to happen is the set is identified by specifying a property that element of a set have in common, right? So if you look into the example one, the set AEIOU, so this is called as a set. This is called as a set. Why? Because the elements are separated by commas and are being placed in what we call square brackets. So not square brackets, they come under flower brackets. So a set AEIOU is written as A equal to X is an element, colon X is vowel in English alphabet. X is vowel in English alphabet. See here, it can be described like this. It can be described like this. So, A annam kada. So here, see here. So highlight చేసిన దాంట్లో A అన్నాం. So here we are represented A equal to and equal to. So X అన్నాం. X is the element. So here also we are represented X colon P of X అంటున్నాం. So here P of X అంటే X is a vowel in the English alphabet. So the set will be described like this. The set will be described like this. So in order to understand some more clearly, look into the example 2. So a set consists of 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. That means the set which consists of odd numbers less than 10. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 can be written as b equal to x colon 1 less than or equal to x less than 10 and x modulo 2 not equal to 0. Suppose consider any element. Consider any element. Suppose if I consider 3. If I consider the element as 3. So x value, so x value will be 3. X value will be 3. So now if we consider this part, so 1 less than or equal to, so ఇక్కడ x and 10, now here x will be 3. So 1 less than or equal to 3 less than 10 and x in the sense 3. 3 modulo division 2 not equal to 0, right? So మనం తీసుకున్న 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 అనే set ని we are going to describe like this. We are going to describe like this. Okay. So మనం తీసుకున్న set ని ఇలా describe చేస్తున్నాను. So in the same way, consider the element as 9. In the same way, consider the element as 9. So b is equal to 9 అంటే ఇక్కడ, so x in the sense 9 colon 1 less than or equal to 9 less than 10 and 9 modulo division 2 is not equal to 0. So 9 modulo division 2 is not equal to 0. The condition has been satisfied, right? So this is how we are going to represent a set by using the set builder notation. By using the set builder notation. So sets can be represented in two ways. Sets can be represented in two ways. First one is called roster or tabular form, and the second one is called as the set builder notation. Set builder notation. And the next point is, if an element x is a member of any set S, it is denoted by x belongs to S, and if an element y is not a member of set S, it is denoted by y not belongs to S. See, if look into the example. If S is equal to 1 comma 1.2 comma 1.7 comma 2, so 1 belongs to S. So let us assume S is nothing but set name. Let us nothing S is nothing but the set name. So 1 an element already set lo undi kabatti we can describe as 1 belongs to S. So అక్కడ ఈ సింబల్ లా కనిపించదని belongs అంటాం. That symbol is going to be spelled as belongs. So ఈ S అనే సెట్ లో we are having 4 elements, 1, 1.2, 1.7 and 2, right? So 1 అనే ఎలిమెంట్ సెట్ లో ఉంది కాబట్టి 1 belongs to S. But see, look into the set. Is there any element called 1.5? There is no element called 1.5, right? No. See, set లో 1.5 అనే ఎలిమెంట్ ఉందా? లేదు కాబట్టి we are describing it as 1.5 not belongs to S. That means if an element x is a member of set S అంటున్నాం. సో సెట్ లో x అనే ఎలిమెంట్ మెంబర్ అయితే కనుక belongs to అనే సింబల్ యూస్ చేస్తాం. Suppose if it is not a member, then we are going to use not belongs to symbol. Example లో చూసినట్టయితే s is equal to 1.1 s is equal to 1 comma 1.2 comma 1.7 comma 2 అన్నాం. సో 1 అనే ఎలిమెంట్ s అనే సెట్ లో ఉంది కాబట్టి బిలాంగ్స్ టు యూస్ చేసాం. నెక్స్ట్ 1.5 ఎలిమెంట్ అనేది సెట్ s లో లేదు కాబట్టి నాట్ బిలాంగ్స్ టు అనేది యూస్ చేసాం. ఓకే. So next going to cardinality of a set. See, once have a look over this mathematical representation of a set. ఒకసారి mathematical representation of a set ఒకసారి చూసుకోండి. There are two ways, like we discussed, roster or tabular form, and the second one is set builder notation. So have a look over these two notations for 1 minute. So right, clear with the mathematical representation of a set, right? So just remember there are two ways to represent the set in a mathematical form, and the first one is roster or tabular form, where here a set is represented by listing all the elements comprising to it. And the second one is called set builder notation. Here the set is defined by specifying a property that element of the set have in the common, right? So these are the two ways of mathematical representation of a set. And the next one is called cardinality. Next one is called cardinality of a set. So cardinality of a set S denoted by mod S is the number of elements of a set. Is the number of elements of a set. So cardinality element of a set and so cardinality of a set is denoted by mod S. See here it's a typing mistake. So just mod S and matham represent chestam. So if in the next topic if you are going to get any something like mod yes, we are going to call it as cardinality of the set yes. అర్థమవుతుందా? So cardinality of a set, I shall highlight this. So ila we are calling it as cardinality. Yes, we are calling it as cardinality of set yes. Okay. So cardinality of a set is denoted by mod S is the number of elements of the set, is the number of elements of the set. The number is also referred as the cardinal number. The number is referred as the cardinal number. So if a set has infinite number of elements, its cardinality is also infinity. Simple cardinality of a set ante enti ante the number of elements in a set. Suppose ఒక సెట్ ఉంది, దాంట్లో ఎన్ని ఎలిమెంట్స్ అనేది మనం రిప్రజెంట్ చేయగలిగితే ఇట్ ఇస్ కాల్డ్ యాజ్ ది కార్డినాలిటీ ఆఫ్ ది సెట్. సో ఆ నంబర్ ఉంటే చూసారా, అంటే ఎన్ని నెంబర్స్ ఎన్ని ఎలిమెంట్స్ ఉన్నాయి అని మెన్షన్ చేస్తాం చూసారా, దట్ పర్టికులర్ నెంబర్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ యాజ్ ది కార్డినల్ నెంబర్. సో లుక్ ఇన్ టు ది ఎగ్జాంపుల్, దిస్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ ది కార్డినాలిటీ ఆఫ్ ది సెట్ అండ్ 4 is see here 4. సో 1 3 4 5 దీన్ని ఏమంటాం, ఎలిమెంట్స్ ఆఫ్ ఎ సెట్ అంటాం, ఎలిమెంట్స్ ఆఫ్ ఎ సెట్. సో ఫ్లవర్ ప్యాకెట్ కు ముందర there is a symbol, right? So there is a symbol and ending also that particular symbol has been maintained. So that symbol is called as cardinality. So దీన్ని ఎలా చదువుతాం అంటే cardinality of the set 1 4 3 5 అని స్పెల్ చేస్తాం. We are going to spell this as cardinality of the set 1 4 3 5 is equal to 4. Equal to 4 అన్నాం. అక్కడ 4 అనేది ఏంటి, 4 represents the cardinality. 4 represents the cardinality. See, look over here in this example 1 2 3 4 5 and so on. Here we cannot define the number of elements which are available in this set. Previous example లో 1 4 3 5 కాబట్టి there are only 5 elements. Sorry, there are only 4 elements. So the number 4 is called the cardinal number. In the second example, there are 5 elements and at the end they are going to represent with and so on. So and so on అన్నప్పుడు we cannot define the total number of elements in a set, right? So here the cardinal number will be infinity. Here the cardinal number will be infinity. So cardinality of a set is the number of elements of a set and it is been represented as mod S. Mod S. The cardinality of a set S ni ఎలా డిఫైన్ చేస్తామంటే mod S అని డిఫైన్ చేస్తాం. Suppose cardinality of a set X అనుకోండి, it is going to represent it as mod X. So if there are two sets X and Y, if there are two sets X and Y, mod X is equal to mod Y. So mod X equal to mod Y అంటే ఏంటి, cardinality of set X is equal to cardinality of set Y denotes two sets X and Y have same cardinality. So X అనే సెట్ లో X అనే సెట్ లో Y అనే సెట్ లో కూడా సేమ్ cardinality ఉంటే it denotes as mod X is equal to mod Y. So for example, if the set X has 4 elements and in the same way if the set Y has also 4 elements, then it is called as, then we can call them as they both are having same cardinality. They both are having same cardinality. Why? Because the number of elements in the set X and the number of elements in the set Y are equal, right? So they are called as same cardinality. It occurs when the number of elements in X is exactly equal to the number of elements in Y. In this case, there exists a bijective function f from x to y. So see here, there are three categories. There are three categories. First one is mod x greater than, sorry, less than or equal to y, less than or equal to y. So it denotes that x cardinality is less than equal to set y's cardinality. Ikkada denotes that the x cardinality is less than or equal to set y's cardinality. It occurs when the number of elements in x is less than or equal to that of y. Here there exists an injective function f from x to y, right? So in the same way, consider the second one. Consider the second one, mod x less than y. So first one enti ante mod x less than or equal to mod y antam. Second one enti mod x less than y. So it denotes that set x coordinate is less than set y's coordinate. So పైన ఎలా జరిగిందో అలాగే. సో పైన చూడండి, denotes that set x coordinate is less than or equal to set y's coordinate అన్నాం. So here there is no equality in the equation, right? So it denotes that the set x coordinate is less than set y's coordinate. It occurs when the number of elements in x is less than that of y. సో ఇది ఎప్పుడు అక్కర్ అవుతుంది అంటే నెంబర్ ఎక్స్లో ఉన్న నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ఎలిమెంట్స్ కనుక y కన్నా తక్కువ ఉంటే దెన్ ఇట్ అక్కర్స్. సో హియర్ ది ఫంక్షన్ f from x to y is injective function but not bijective. And the third one is if mod x greater than equal to mod y and mod x less than or, sorry, here also less, here also less, okay, I have spelled it wrongly. If mod x less than or equal to mod y and mod x less than or equal to mod y, then mod x is equal to mod y. The sets x and y are commonly referred as equivalent sets. The sets x and y are commonly referred to as equivalent sets. Equivalent sets in the sense the number of elements in the x and the number of elements in the y have same number of elements. Have same number of elements. So it is also called as cardinality, or it is also called. So we can describe it as both the sets are having same cardinality. The number of elements in the sets kanaka same aithe, we can finally conclude that they are both the sets are having same cardinality. That is nothing but called as cardinality of a set. Now types of sets. Now types of sets. So sets can be classified into many types. Sets can be classified into many types. Some of which are finite, infinite, subset, universal, proper subset, singleton set, empty or null, single or unit, equal, equivalent, overlapping, disjoint. So these are all the types of sets. సో ఫైనైట్, ఇన్ఫైనైట్, ఫైనైట్ అంటే ఏంటి, ఇన్ఫైనైట్ అంటే ఏంటి, సబ్సెట్ అంటే ఏంటి, యూనివర్సల్ సెట్ అంటే ఏంటి, వాట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ as proper subset, what is called as singleton set, what is called as empty or null set, single or unit set, equal set, equivalent set, or overlapping or and disjoint set. So these are all the different types of sets. These are all the different types of sets. So now we need to look over all these types. We need to look over all these types of sets. So first one is called finite set. First one is called finite set. So finite set. What is a finite set? What is a finite set? So this is the first set. This is the first set. So a set which contains a definite number of elements is called as a finite set. So if a set is containing a definite number of elements, then it is called as a finite set. For example, S is equal to x colon x belongs to n and 70 less than x, sorry, 70 greater than x greater than 50. Suppose let us assume our element as 63. So x value ikkadanta, so x value is 63, right? So 63 belongs to n, 63 belongs to n and 70 greater than 60 greater than 50, right? So this is called as finite set. And the second one is called, and the second type of set is called infinite set. A set which contains infinite number of elements is called an infinite set. Suppose ఒకవేళ సెట్ లో కనుక definite number of elements ఉంటే it is called as a finite set. Suppose if a set consists of infinite number of elements, it is called as an infinite set. So for example, s is equal to x colon x belongs to n and x is greater than 10. ఇక్కడ పైన ఈక్వేషన్ లో చూడండి, వీఆర్ హ్యావింగ్ సర్టన్ లిమిట్. ఆ లిమిట్ ఏంటి? 70 కన్నా ఎక్కువ ఉండాలి, రైట్? మనం తీసుకున్న ఎలిమెంట్ 50 కన్నా తక్కువ ఉండాలి. అంటే దేర్ ఇస్ సమ్ లిమిట్ లైక్ 70 to 50. There is some limit like 70 to 50. So if you consider the example in the infinite set, greater than 10 ఉన్నది ఏదైనా కూడా it is called as infinite set. Why? Because there is no limit. There is no limit. So that is why it is called as infinite set. And the third type of set is called as a subset. Third type of set is called subset. So a set X is a subset of Y. See, this is called the subset symbol. అంటే దీన్ని ఎలా స్పెల్ చేస్తాం అంటే we are going to spell this as X subset of Y. X subset of Y. Clear? So a set X is subset of set Y if every element of X is an element of set Y. X లో ఉన్న ప్రతి ఎలిమెంట్ కూడా Y అనే సెట్ లో ఉంటే కనుక then it is called X subset of Y. See, here we are not discussing about the number of elements. Number of elements in the set same అయితే ఇందాక cardinality of the set అన్నాం. That means they are having the same cardinality. They are having the same cardinality. Here we are describing the elements. ఇందాక number same ఉంటే same cardinality అంటున్నాం. But here the elements must also be same. The elements must also be same. So let X is equal to 1 2 3 4 5 6 and Y equal to 1 2. Here set Y is a subset of set X as all the elements of set Y is in the set X, right? So 1 2 3 4 5 6 అనే ఎలిమెంట్స్ ఏంటి? X లో ఉన్నాయి. సో Y అనే సెట్ లో ఏం మాట్లాడుతున్నాం? 1 2. సో ఈ Y అనే సెట్ లో ఉన్న ఎలిమెంట్స్ 1 2 X అనే సెట్ లో ఉన్నాయి కదా ఆల్రెడీ 1 2 అని. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ Y is subset of X. Y is subset of X. ఎందుకు అంటే the elements of set Y are already available in the set X, right? So దాన్ని ఎలా రిప్రజెంట్ చేస్తాం అంటే ఇలా రిప్రజెంట్ చేస్తాం. Y is subset of X. Y is subset of X. See, look into the example 2. X is equal to 1 2 3 and Y equal to 1 2 3. Here set Y is subset, not a proper subset ఇక్కడ of set as all the elements of set Y is in set X. Here we can write as Y subset of X. So పైన ఎగ్జాంపుల్ కి దీనికి డిఫరెన్స్ ఏంటి అంటే పైన X అనే సెట్ లో 6 ఎలిమెంట్స్ ఉన్నాయి, Y అనే సెట్ లో 2 ఎలిమెంట్స్ ఉన్నాయి. ఇఫ్ యు లుక్ ఇంటూ ది కార్డినాలిటీస్ దేర్ ఆర్ డిఫరెంట్. ఇఫ్ యు లుక్ ఇంటూ ది కార్డినాలిటీస్, సో X అనే సెట్ లో 6 ఎలిమెంట్స్ ఉన్నాయి. సో కార్డినల్ నెంబర్ అక్కడ ఎంత అంటే 6, రైట్? సో Y అనే సెట్ లో కార్డినల్ నెంబర్ ఎంత అంటే 2. సిన్స్ దేర్ ఆర్ ఓన్లీ 2 ఎలిమెంట్స్ ఇన్ Y, ఇన్ సెట్ Y, కార్డినల్ నెంబర్ 2 అంటాం. అక్కడ కార్డినల్ నెంబర్ డిఫరెంట్ ఉంది. దట్ ఈస్ ద ఫస్ట్ పాయింట్. And the second point is the elements of the set Y are available in the elements of set X, right? So అందుకని ఏం రాసాం? Y subset of X అంటున్నాం. Y subset of X అంటున్నాం. సెకండ్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ లో the number of elements are same. The number of elements are same as well as the elements in the, both the sets are also same. అందుకని ఇక్కడ ఏం మెన్షన్ చేస్తున్నాం అంటే not a proper subset అంటున్నాం. Not a proper subset. So it also can be represented by Y subset of X. Y subset of X. So not a proper subset అంటే ఏంటో మీకు ఇప్పుడు అర్థమే ఉంటుంది. So coming to the example 2, coming to the see here, coming to the next subset, proper subset. So proper subset అంటే ఏంటి ఇప్పుడు? The term proper subset can be defined as a subset of but not equal to. Subset of but not equal to. A set X is a proper subset of Y if every element of X is an element of set Y. So look into the example. X is equal to 1 2 3 4. X is equal to 1 2 3 4, comma 1 2 3 4 5 6, and Y is equal to 1 comma 2. Here Y subset of X. ఇక్కడ proper subset అంటున్నాం. Why? Because not equal to symbol లేదు చూడండి. It's not called subset. It is called as proper subset. Since all the elements in Y are contained in X2 and X has at least one element which is more than set Y. So Y లో ఉన్న ఎలిమెంట్స్ అన్ని X లో కూడా ఉంటున్నాయి, బట్ X అనే సెట్ లో Y కన్నా ఒక ఎలిమెంట్ ఎక్కువ ఉంటుంది అని, రైట్? సో Y లో 1 2 అనే ఎలిమెంట్స్ ఉన్నాయి, X లో 1 2 3 4 ఉన్నాయి అనుకోండి. సో 1 2 ఎలిమెంట్స్ అనేవి ఇక్కడ X లో కూడా ఉన్నాయి, బట్ ఈ Y అనే సెట్ లో 2 ఎలిమెంట్స్ ఉన్నాయి, X అనే సెట్ లో 2 ఎలిమెంట్స్ కన్నా ఎక్కువ ఉంటే దెన్ ఇట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ హియర్ X as at least one element which is more than set of Y, which is more than set Y. And the next one, since the time has been completed, see, let us have a brief idea about finite set. The finite set ఏంటి, infinite set ఏంటి, subset ఏంటి, proper subset ఏంటి. So let us conclude the session with these 4 sets. So మనకి ఉండాలి అనుకుంటే there are many types of sets. See, these are many types of sets. These are all the different types of sets. So ఇవాళ క్లాస్లో ఏం చేద్దాం అంటే, let us conclude by remembering what is finite set, what is infinite set, what is a subset, and what is a proper set. So a set contains a definite number of elements is called as a finite set. If a set contains definite number of elements, it is called as a finite set. In the same way, if a set contains infinite number of elements, it is called as a infinite set. So definite number of elements ante finite set antam, infinite number of elements ante infinite set antam. That is the difference. So third one is subset. So a set of X is a subset of Y if every element of X is an element of set Y. సపోజ్ ఒక రెండు సెట్స్ తీసుకొని ఏదో ఒక సెట్లో ఆ ఎలిమెంట్స్ అన్ని ఇంకో సెట్లో ఉందనుకోండి. Let us assume the two sets as X and Y. So Y లో ఉన్న ప్రతి ఎలిమెంట్ X లో ఉంటే కనుక then it is called Y subset of X, right? And the fourth type of set is proper subset. Proper subset, see, the proper subset can be defined as subset but not equal to. అంటే సబ్సెట్ అయి ఉండాలి, ఈక్వల్ టు ఉండకూడదు. దట్ మీన్స్ ది సెట్ మస్ట్ హ్యావ్ మోర్ దాన్ వన్ ఎలిమెంట్ విచ్ ఈస్ హ్యావింగ్ ఇన్ ది అనదర్ సెట్. సో ఎక్స్లో వై అనే సెట్లో 2 ఎలిమెంట్స్ ఉంటే ఎక్స్ అనే సెట్లో ఆ 2 ఎలిమెంట్స్ ఉండి ఆ 2 ఎలిమెంట్స్ కాకుండా ఇంకొక ఎలిమెంట్ అయినా అట్లీస్ట్ ఇట్ షుడ్ హ్యావ్ మోర్. దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ యాజ్ ఎ ప్రాపర్ subset, right? So in tomorrow's class we shall discuss about the remaining types of sets. రేపటి క్లాస్లో ఏం చేద్దాం అంటే ఇంకా మిగిలిన టైప్స్ ఆఫ్ సెట్స్ ఏమైనా ఉంటే కనుక we shall discuss in the tomorrow's class. So have a look over these 4 types of sets for 10 to 30 seconds. So hope all are clear with what is a finite set. So definite number unte finite, infinite number unte infinite, right? So if every element of X is an element of Y అయితే కనుక subset, and subset of but not equal to unte kanka it is called as a proper subset. These are only the 4 types of sets which we have discussed in the today's class, right? In tomorrow's class we shall discuss about all the remaining types of sets. Okay, thank you.